It's only a matter of time, you guys. I knew it was only a matter of time. We are back. If you were watching the first one, this is going to be the main one. There was one that happened, but everybody's coming over here. This is going to be the main one. I'm going to try to set us up on a tripod. I told y'all I was ready this time. I was ready this time for when it started acting crazy. Okay, y'all are coming back in here. Look, I was prepared. I was prepared for the foolishness to ensue with my Wi-Fi. So boom, we're back. I'm set up with the camera. We'll see how this works. We're back. I told you I'll be right back. I had a plan. I have learned at this point that my Wi-Fi hates me for some reason. So we're back. I knew it. I got it set up on a tripod. Don't play with her. Don't play with her. So we are back, you guys. So let me set us up. If I'm looking a little crooked, it is not your phone. It's my phone. It's because the selfie stick is crooked. But y'all are still going to learn. We're back. We're back. And when I need to share my screen, you know I will turn it. Rosemary, don't laugh at us in this foolishness in Tennessee. Come on down here to Tennessee with our foolishness. But anyway, what I was saying, you guys. What was I saying? Look, you know I get thrown off once we start talking about, once the Wi-Fi starts acting up. But, oh, this administration. Who said it? She's not on here yet. They won't, she's talking about they won't forgive student loans. Nobody is going to forgive student loans. You can hang that up. Nobody is going to forgive our student loans. Don't worry about it. I had a major stinging on this thing and the judges. Okay, so here's the other thing, you guys. When I'm on the phone, I cannot filter the comments. So y'all just, you know what I mean. Y'all know what it is. When I can't filter the comments, y'all get all kinds of comments. So just ignore them. Okay. So, like I said, I don't think this current administration is going to give out stimulus. I don't even know if they'll do a moratorium if foreclosures get bad. You know what I mean? You have to think about sometimes who would benefit from foreclosures, who would benefit from this. Now, could this be the beginning? I got a question for you all. Could this be the beginning of the correction, right? I feel like we do need a correction in the housing market. Homes are just unaffordable. Could this be the correction, right? This layoffs, unemployment going up. This might bring distressed homeowners to the market to sell, right? I definitely think we'll see some distressed selling. Distressed selling is definitely going to go up. But could this be the beginning of a correction? You know what I mean? When it comes to home prices. Now, at the result, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, but at what end would a correction bring? Like, what would the negatives of that? What would people have to endure in order for us to have a correction? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take this off because I feel like I'm so crooked. So my point is, at what detriment would a correction cause our housing market is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense to everybody? Like, we could get a correction and prices could start coming down, but at what cost, right? Does that mean unemployment has to go up? Does that mean that we'd have to see a whole wave of foreclosures? You know what I mean? When you start thinking about things that would happen, you know what I mean? What would be the... Y'all know I have to get rid of some of these comments. Who knows? But let's talk about foreclosures, you guys. Let's talk. The new numbers just came out. Let's talk about cities with the most. Y'all, I told y'all when I'm on the phone, we get all I can't filter through the comments, right? When I'm on the computer, I can, hold on, look, y'all, try to get comments out of here. I can filter it by, you got to be a subscriber in order to comment. But when it's just free for all, it's just free for all, y'all. So let's talk about foreclosure rates for the month of September. If I call your name, let me know. Let me know. I will post, well, I can't post the article. 100 were dumping properties and driving prices down. The outcome would be lost equity. For sure. For sure. Yule Williams, you're right. People would lose equity. They could when people start reducing prices. For sure. There goes people's equity, right? What do I always say? And I know you're like, Ashley, don't say it again. Your home value is based on the homes around you. The good thing about real estate, that's what I say. The good thing about real estate is your home value is based on the homes around you. The bad thing about real estate is your home value is based on the homes around you. So pick your poison. So when people start panic selling and distress selling and start selling because they just got to get rid of it, I can't afford my mortgage anymore. I lost my job. We can't afford this payment. I can't find another one that pays me as much. I got to let it go for what I can let it go for, right? It doesn't matter what you just bought your house for 2 years ago, right? That's how your equity gets chipped away when people start lowering their prices. And I feel like we're going to have distress selling. Definitely some distressed selling. Y'all know what distressed selling is. I'm in Tucson. Are you? I hope you would miss next time you play. Thank you. Okay. Y'all, you know I like to see where you're from. Now it's a bunch of people on here. Y'all tell me where you're from if you feel like it. I'm going to keep talking about the foreclosures. I'm going to show you my screen. I love to see where you're from. Come on in here. We were just kind of talking about, if you're just joining, with these government layoffs, right? Avriel, she was on here, said that, welcome from Atlanta, Georgia. Her friends, like 2 of her friends just got the notice that they were part of the permanent layoffs. 2 of her friends just got the notice today because it started today, didn't it? There, Avriel, there you are. Avriel, also, somebody just commented, I don't know, Rosemary. Avriel, look, Avriel like, Ashley, don't put all my business out. But she doesn't mind. She loves me. You got something in the mail saying that your veteran benefits might, you might decrease, or you might not get veteran benefits next month. I didn't know that they cut veteran benefits, you know what I mean, when the government shut down. And so Rosemary was saying that her husband is a veteran and they hadn't gotten anything yet. So all I'm saying is everybody be aware. Look, ain't nobody, she received an email. She received an email, everybody. Everybody say what's up to Avriel. She's in Austin. She's also an auctioneer. She's also a real estate agent. She helps people keep their homes down there in Austin, Texas, right? Especially the veterans down there, you guys. So if you're in the Austin area, hit her up, right? And she will do everything she can to keep you in your house. That's what we all do. Do everything we can. I've heard that from an 80-year-old veteran. Yeah, so just be mindful. And if you're a veteran expecting benefits next month, y'all just double check and make sure. You know what I mean? Double check and make sure. Craziness, right? So that's what we were talking about. I see everybody. Welcome from Kenya. Come on in here from Kenya. What time is it over there? What day is it? Look, is it still Friday over there in Kenya? Welcome. California, Philly, Indiana, Maryland. So I'm about to Atlanta. I see y'all. Welcome everybody. So I'm going to go over the foreclosure numbers that just came out. Let me know if I call your city, if I call your state. Raise your hand, blink your eyes, clap your hands, stomp your feet, whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? I'm going to turn the screen around so you can see it, and you can see the article that I'm reading from in case y'all want to go read it. Okay? But y'all are getting the news here first because I'm going to do a video on this tomorrow. And for everybody who's joining now, I'm going to be on here all weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We are on fall break here in Memphis. I didn't even do an introduction. Y'all welcome. You know, when the Wi-Fi starts acting up, I just come back and start talking. If you're new here, my name's Ashley. Hello from Boston. So I'll be on here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 7 p.m. Central. The plan was tonight, let's talk about the new foreclosure article. We can talk pre-foreclosures. Tomorrow we can talk auctions. And then Sunday we can talk bank-owned REO properties. Hello, Melissa. Um, but I know how this gets. If you have a question about auctions or bank-owned properties or anything, you know I'm going to answer it, right? Y'all know I'm going to answer it. You don't have to wait till like Saturday or Sunday for me to answer your question. But I just thought it was very interesting. Welcome from Kansas City and Boston, Tiffany. Tiffany, don't let me start. Tiffany's up there in Boston where they actually auction in the front yard. So you know it's real safe in Boston. Because I live in Memphis and I could never hold an auction in somebody's front yard. No need to explain that. So Tiffany, hope you're having a safe, wonderful day up there in Boston. So let's get into it. We were kind of talking about if we were trying to talk, y'all, I tell you, our little comment section. We were kind of talking about what would happen if we did get a foreclosure wave. Would the government step in? Would this administration step in? Would they do another moratorium? Right? I don't know, right? What would they do to prevent a foreclosure wave, right? All the assistant programs that I usually refer here in Memphis, like United Housing, they said they don't have any money. They said they didn't get any money for mortgage assistance or anything. So I don't know. Maybe they'll stop. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll target federal workers and put a pause on their mortgage payments or something like that. I was just trying to think, what would they do? And do you think, what do you think, you guys? Do you think the last moratorium helped us? Right? Do you think the last COVID moratorium, the moratoriums we had, does that really help people when you stop their payments? Right? I think it does, depending on the situation, but I also think a lot of times it hurts more than it helps people a lot of time. But, you know, or is it just kind of delaying the pain? You know, I think it's like you know what I mean? Like, we still have people who have not paid since COVID, right? You know what I mean? Some people use it to do better, stack the money and move on. But then some people, maybe, what did I say? If you let somebody slide, they going to cha-cha, right? When you start letting people, they going to cha-cha all up, cha-cha one time, you know? So, I don't know. It does help, I feel like, overall. But then when you just extend it and extend it and extend it. Hey, Trency, come on in here. Trency and Abrielle are both in the mentorship. I love both of them. It's stunning how many foreclosures are pending. Y'all, I pulled the foreclosure list today. Y'all know I pull it every day. Today's list was so long. Today's list was ridiculous here in Shelby County. So let's get to this article. I'm going to share my screen. Well, not share my screen, but I'm going to turn the camera around. Okay. Okay, you guys. So let me tell you where I am. I'll try to keep a steady hand, but this is where I am. If y'all want the article, okay. Adam Data. Okay. That is where I am. Boom. So y'all can go read this for yourself. Okay. So look, I got to try to hold this camera and read it. But remember, like I said, if you see your state or your city, let me know. Raise your hand, clap, blink, put some hearts, or do something, okay? So here we go. I'm reading this with you. Don't worry, I won't make you read out loud. So it shows, Real Estate Today released its Q3 2025 foreclosure reports, which shows a total of 101,513 properties with a foreclosure filing during the third quarter of 2025. So this is, Q3. Okay, so these are Q3 numbers. I was just trying to refresh on what we were doing. I didn't know if it was September or if it was, what it was. Okay, so this is for Q3. We got 101,000 properties somewhere in the foreclosure process. Okay, that means that either the homeowner is behind and they got the default notice. It means they have an auction scheduled, or their property has been repossessed by the bank and it's also an REO. So up less than 1% from second quarter and up 17% from a year ago. Let's keep reading, class. The report also shows a total of 35,602 U.S. properties with foreclosure filings in September September. There we go. There's September numbers, right? So down 0.3, so down a couple of pennies from the previous month. And look, up 20% from a year ago. So this time we're up 20%. We had 35,000 properties go into the foreclosure process. Well, in the foreclosure process. Let's keep going. Let's talk about how many properties started. That means the homeowner got behind and that lender filed the notice of default, right? That is the first phase of foreclosure. These are new foreclosures, okay? Everybody with me. So a total of 72,317 properties started the foreclosure process in quarter 3. We had 72,000. Wow. Okay. Up 2% from second quarter and up 16% from a year ago. States. Here we go. Raise your hand if you see a state, because we already know who's going to be on the list. States that had the greatest number of foreclosure starts in third quarter. Texas. There y'all go. Y'all been number one forever. Texas had 9,736 foreclosure starts for third quarter, right? Okay, I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to distinguish between September and third quarter, okay? So, this third quarter, Texas had 9,736 foreclosure starts. Florida, 8,909 foreclosure starts. California had 7,862. Illinois, 3,515. And New York had 3,234 foreclosure starts. Did y'all see your states on here? I don't see y'all raising your hand. I know we got people in here who are in Florida, California. Sorry, y'all. That's my finger. I was trying to make sure y'all can hear me. So, I was trying to see. Florida, y'all in here? I see Rosemary got her hand up. This is a chart showing foreclosure starts all the way back to 2006, 2007. And then right there, 2010 is when we had our peak. Remember, I always say that. Hold on, how do I go back, y'all? I don't know. This is what I get for clicking on too much stuff. There we go. That's why I always say the market collapsed in 2008, but we didn't see the peak of foreclosures until 2010. That's when the foreclosures actually came. So it's a lag. It's always a lag, okay? So let's talk about cities. We've got, with the most foreclosure starts, we got Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas has been at the top of the list all year. 3,763. New York City, 3,452. Chicago, Illinois had 3,144 foreclosure starts. Miami, Florida had 2,502 foreclosure starts. And Los Angeles, California had 2,321 new foreclosures. Boom. Golly. I was on PropWire. Remember last week, and if y'all were on here, and I pulled Miami-Dade, and I put in foreclosures, and it said, like, I had put in pre-foreclosures, and it said, like, 2,300. And I was like, that can't be right. That is right, isn't it? Golly. Okay. I could see your comments. The price, we might get a correction. No, Salt, we might get a correction here. These prices, people start losing jobs and forced to sell, and you never know. So let's talk about overall worst foreclosure rates in the country, okay? So, boom. States with the worst foreclosure rates were Florida, 1 in every 814. Florida, Nevada. I'm sorry, y'all know I'm wrong. Nevada. I'm trying to learn how to say it correctly. Nevada, South Carolina, Illinois, and Delaware. Delaware popped up on this list. Now overall worst, not Delaware. Those some of those federal jobs up there in Delaware. Not Delaware. In Delaware. I don't know. Okay. Let's talk about these cities. Let's pinpoint some cities. Y'all with me? Lakeland, Florida. Columbia, South Carolina. Cape Coral, Florida. Cleveland, Ohio. And Ocala, Florida. Am I saying that right? It's Ocala, right? Ocala, Florida. Same cities that were on there in August. Those are the same cities. And there's another little map again. This is 2010 with foreclosure filings, 2010. Are any of y'all able to buy properties back in 2009, 2010? Tell him no salt. I try to tell him the truth. Okay. Oh, call it. Thank you. South Carolina has been on the list. Spartanburg, a couple other South Carolina cities have been on the list lately. Okay, so bigger cities with at least 1 million, including Cleveland at number 4. And foreclosure rates in the top 20 worst nationwide included Jacksonville, Florida. Number 6 is Las Vegas, Nevada. Number 9 is Houston, Texas. Number 14 is Orlando, Florida at number 17. So Texas, y'all know Nevada got hit real hard during that last downturn. You know we don't say crash. During the last downturn. Tracy, you got your foreclosure in 2008. That's what I'm talking about, Tracy. That's what I'm talking about, Tracy. I was trying to see if I had any people who were able to buy something in 2008. Hold on, you guys. I'm talking. Let me take a sip of water. Okay. I'm back. Deneen, you did too? That's what I'm talking about, Deneen. I bought a house in 2007. I guess I did capitalize on it too. Y'all know I was 20. Look at me. Hold on. Y'all know I was 21 in 2000. I got licensed in 2006. I was 21. I wanted to be a real estate investor. I think like all real estate agents want to do when they get in the game is to end up being a real estate investor. And that's why I came in. And I said it last week that, y'all, I was 21 and I got a loan from the bank as a college student. So it's true what they were saying. They were lending money to people who probably didn't need to get money. So I did. I bought my first 3 houses in my 20s. Yeah, when I was 21, 20. I got licensed when I was 21. I bought my first house when I was 22. Yeah. So are y'all prepared in case something happens this time? Y'all prepared? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. Let's get back to the numbers. Hold on. Let's finish, class. We got to finish what we started. Okay. I was trying to make it a little bigger for the people in the back who can't see. Okay, bank repossessions, you guys. Properties that do not sell at auction and revert back to the bank. What do we call these properties, class? Who's going to say it first? What do we call properties that do not sell at auction and revert back to the bank? Good job, No Salt. You still own your properties from 2008. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you, there you go, Agent Dawkins. Thank you. REO, I see you, Trency. There we go. Y'all do listen to me. Y'all do love me. Okay. All right, you guys. That's right. REO properties. That's right, you guys. Lenders repossessed 11,723 properties through foreclosure in quarter 3. 11,000. That's low. You know what I mean? Y'all, we usually, that's low. But in quarter 3, up 4% from the previous quarter and up 33% from a year ago. The states that had the greatest number of REOs in quarter 3 were Texas. Nobody is shocked. 1,288. Avriel can attest to that down there in Austin. She had an auction. Avriel, how many? You had 35 properties go up for sale on Tuesday. How many did you say? Did anything sell at auction on Tuesday? Those states that had the greatest number of REOs were Texas with 1,288. California had 1,132. You had 35. Did any of them sell? Florida had 762 REOs. I didn't think so. Pennsylvania had 708 REOs, and New York had 644 REOs. Average time to foreclose decreases 25% from last year. Properties foreclosed in quarter 3 have been in the foreclosure process. Y'all, look at that. The average property have been in the foreclosure process for 608 days. So most of the people who are in foreclosure have been behind for at least a year, right? That's what I see. That's the people I talk to. They hadn't paid. I told you it's people who have not paid since COVID, right? It's people who have not paid in 4 years. So average timeline for foreclosure, and it's going to depend if you live in a judicial state or non-judicial state, 608 days. The rate at the auction is not low. The rate at the auction, Hondanine, Tell me what you mean. This represents a 6% decrease from the previous quarter and a 25% decrease from the same time last year. So it used to be, okay, let's see. States with the longest average foreclosure timelines for homes foreclosed in Q3. Louisiana. This is the average foreclosure timeline in Louisiana. 3,632 days. Y'all, what is that? 17 years? I mean, golly. How long is 3,000 days? That's like 5 years, isn't it? That's the average time it takes in Louisiana. Nevada, 2,667 days. Rhode Island, 1,929 days. This is how long it's taking the banks to foreclose. This is the average foreclosure timeline. 1,867 days. In Hawaii, 1,710 days. It's okay for Hawaii. They still trying to recover. We don't talk about them. States with the shortest average foreclosure timeline. So if you live in these states, you better get on the phone with your lender and try to make some arrangements, is what I'm saying. That's what you need to do. West Virginia, 135 days. So they're going to take your house. Quick, if you get behind 3 months, 90? This time 18. So yeah. Texas, 154 days. Y'all in Texas, you better get to paying you can get on the phone. Virginia, so we got West Virginia and Virginia, 160 days. Wyoming, 165 days. And Montana, 174 days is the average timeline. So I'm sure it depends on if it's judicial state, non-judicial. Judicial states take longer because they can go to court. Non-judicial states, they're going to take your house. If you don't get on the phone with them. Get on the phone with them and try to work out something, especially if you just got laid off. If you are new here, welcome. If you're new here, I said this in the other video before the Wi-Fi started acting crazy. I'm challenging all the real estate agents, if you're watching this, because I know real estate agents watch this. You guys, thousands of people are getting laid off from their job, right? So as an industry, we need to let people know, if you're getting laid off from your job, communicate with your lenders. So I'm going to post, right? Y'all know I'm going to post. I'm going to put up a video tomorrow and all weekend, and just remind your clients, use the same energy that you had when you was trying to get them to close on that house, same energy you had when you was cashing that commission check, and let your clients know, hey, if you're facing a hardship right now, talk to your lender, communicate with them, let them know if you just got laid off from your job, okay? So I challenge our entire real estate industry to spread the same news, keep the same energy as we do when we trying to get people, when we trying to, right? Because some people don't know what to do. And some people get paralyzed by, it's just so much going on. You just lost your job. You thought you were being furloughed. Now it's a permanent situation. Now you're without a job. Bills still coming in. They just said that the furloughs are turning into permanent layoffs, right? They just announced that today. They said it'll be thousands of people who will be getting laid off, Avriel said two of her friends just got the letter or the email saying that they will be terminated. And one of them just bought a house, right? So I encourage you all, especially if you're a broker. Hey, all the brokers out there, maybe email your agents. Not that I'm telling y'all what to do, but you know what I mean. Be the leaders that we're supposed to be, and remind your agents, hey, reach out to your clients. Hey, a lot of people are going through a tough time right now. Remind them there's options. Call your lender. They might give you a forbearance for 6 months. Don't just not pay your mortgage. You know what I mean? We share the good news. Let's share all the news. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do that, and I hope you all do that as well, especially if you're in the real estate industry. Check on your clients. It's a lot of people struggling right now, for sure. But welcome, everybody. So we just went through foreclosure numbers, overall highest foreclosure rates, REOs, foreclosure starts all across the country. The numbers just came out. A property I purchased in 2008, I leased for $575. Do the math over 17 years. No Salt, you did good. Everybody's still holding on to these bills. I asked y'all, I said, what's the first bill people stop paying when money get tight? It's usually like insurance, right? That's a good one. Insurance. Baby, everybody gonna keep that phone on though. You gotta keep the phone on. But sometimes it's the mortgage, right? Like, don't be crazy if you live in an apartment. Apartment complexes will put you out. Now, mortgage, you got a little bit of time, right? But apartment complexes, they don't play about that. So just be mindful of that. Is this a correction? Are we about to see a real estate correction coming? Because homes are just unaffordable. If we start talking layoffs, and they already said like the job market is crazy. Every time I look, they're like the job market can't get a job. People say they applied to like 100 jobs and can't get an interview. You know what I mean? So when you start losing these jobs, how quick will it be for you to get another job? You know what I mean? Or even another job that will pay your current bills. No, anonymously 901. I think these layoffs are coming from I don't know. I think it's just a combination of everything. You know what I mean? It's a comment of everything. I mean, I see small businesses saying that the tariffs are hurting them, like, and they're having to reduce their staff to pay the tariff bill. I've seen that. But I've also seen, people are pulling back, right? I dare not say we're in a recession, right? I dare not say that we've been in a recession for the last couple years, right? If we talk about the true definition of a recession. But could this cause even more of a recession with people getting thousands of people getting laid off, right? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But I will say, if you're behind on your mortgage, look at me, turn it into the real estate. If you are behind on your mortgage, contact your lender, right? Ask for assistance. I saw that, Tracy. Yes. Look at me. Yes, Tracy. I saw Walmart. Was it Walmart said they were doing a hiring freeze for the next 3 years, and they were laying off. They said they're going to lay off a bunch of people. AI for sure. AI for sure. We talked about this last week. And some of y'all like, I don't fool with ChatGPT. I ain't doing that. You don't have to. But what I will say is AI is coming, And I said this last week, I live in a warehouse city. I do. We have FedEx here in Memphis, right? And that's what corporations and companies do. And I cannot stress, I just saw Tracy's comment. Companies are getting lean with AI. That's what corporations do, right? And I think we all have to remember that. We all have to remind our kids of that. Companies are not loyal to you, right? I know years ago where it was like they invite me to dinner. I know the whole family. The family's so nice. They run the company. We go to church together. We don't live in that environment anymore, you guys. We don't live there anymore. At the end of the day, it's about business. At the end of the day, it's about money and profits over people, regardless to if you believe that or not. So if they can hire somebody to do your job for less and quicker, they're going to do it. I see people crying all over the internet talking about, I just moved here for a job. I uplifted my whole family, moved here, and they let me go. Baby, that is what jobs are jobbing. Corporations are corporating. That is what they do, right? So what do? We have to plan accordingly, right? Especially now that we see what's kind of coming down the pipe, right? Plan accordingly. Are y'all gonna start cutting back? You know what I mean? Or investors, are y'all like, it's my time to shine? I know how investors start getting. Don't be out here preying on people, investors. I know how y'all do. I know y'all watching me right now. Don't start harassing these people. Add more properties to my real estate portfolio. Come on, that's what we're gonna do. No salt. That's what we're doing. We adding. We're not. We can't control what companies do, what the government does. We can only control our position, right? We can only control what we can control, right? And that's the thing, right? Build you some cash reserves, stack you some cash. If you got to get a side hustle, y'all, Look, I tell everybody, as soon, don't come to me if you're talking about you going to leave a job. Go and leave it. I just got hired on Monday, but you got a better job offer on Tuesday? Go, because that's what a company would do to you, right? Y'all, they don't care. And that's why people, if they can find somebody that they can, a system that works 24/7 for cheaper, no breaks, no attitudes, not coming in late, not asking for a promotion, don't need a raise. Y'all, the good job's gone. I'm a single mama. I just lost my mom. They don't care. They're gonna be like, you want a pizza party? Give them a gas card and a pizza party, and we gonna be all right. You know what I mean? So all I can say is, don't be oblivious, because I see people also that are like, I never thought my job would do that. They're gonna start never and like they ain't never before, right? So plan accordingly. For sure, plan accordingly. Look, take your PTO. Y'all, I have never been loyal to a company. I'm probably not the one you want to listen to. You know, if you were like loyal and we're going to stay here and I'm going to retire from here, I have never been that type of person. Y'all know that. You know that. And y'all are like, I don't understand ChatGPT. What did I say last week? Y'all don't understand how electricity works either, right? But we all hit the switch every day and hope the lights come on, right? You don't have to understand AI and ChatGPT and all that. Just know that it's coming. Okay? So, and if you work at a job, I'm trying to say this in a nice way, that requires little to no, because I don't want to offend nobody. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Customer service, you know, the something that could be replaced, right? You know what I'm saying? Those are the jobs that you have to be really mindful of getting replaced, is what I would say. No offense to anybody. Okay. So let's keep going. So as investors, this is the time to prepare, investors. This is the time, right? Now, we're not preying on people. We're not bullying people. We're not harassing people, right? But when you start seeing a little bit of glimpse of opportunity that might be on the way, you gotta prepare, is what I would say. It's time to be smart with your money. Stop buying on. Exactly. Y'all know I say this every fourth quarter. No flat screen TVs. Y'all don't need any more flat screen TVs. Okay? Y'all don't need any more. Stop running up your credit cards. Pay down your credit cards. Get your credit in order. Y'all are like, I can't come to the auction. I can't see you at the auction because you don't have cash. That's okay. You can buy you a bank-owned property. Bank-owned properties. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm already talking about bank-owned properties. You can use financing with bank-owned properties, you guys. You can get FHA 203K, FHA 203H. Ooh, has anybody heard of a FHA 203H loan? Boom. You can use conventional financing. You can do all of those things with bank-owned REO properties. It's fourth quarter. A lot of these banks are going to start trying to clear their inventory, right? But you got to be in position. You can't be like, actually, I don't have cash and my credit and I don't have any money saved. And you got to get yourself together. You have to get yourself together. You know what I mean? At some point, you're going to have to say self, you got to stop dealing with the foolishness and get serious and disciplined, right? At some point, we got to grow up, right? And if you weren't able to buy properties in 2008, or if you weren't in a position in 2008, y'all gonna let this next one pass you by too? That's all I'm saying. That's all. Trim unnecessary expenses. Get your house in order. Be like, look, we not. If you got to take pictures of your Christmas tree for the gram, just get you some empty boxes. We all got empty boxes from Amazon. Wrap up the empty boxes with some paper. Put it under the Christmas tree and take a picture if you just have to do it for the gram, right? Don't go broke Christmas shopping. Don't go broke Christmas shopping, okay? And a lot of people max out those credit cards, Christmas shopping, and then tax season, they got to pay it all back. So you never get ahead. It's just constantly survival mode. Stop. It comes to a point where you just got to call yourself out. Self accountability, right? Self accountability. I use my 401k to save for my down payment. There you go. It's going to be a lot of people probably cashing out 401ks when it comes to paying these bills. You think people are going to start hitting their retirement? Come on, bought my foreclosure with an FHA loan and $10,000 down. Tracy, where there's a will, there is a way, right? Sometimes you just have to be disciplined, sacrifice, don't go out to eat. And I know we like to go out to eat, right? Pay those credit cards down. Do what you have to do, okay? Rudy, Rudy, how have you been, Rudy? Rudy was like in my first mentorship ever. Rudy up there in New York. I remember Rudy, and he had a client. He had bought a brownstone, right? Rudy, am I telling the truth? Brought a brownstone, and the tenant would not move out. So he was trying to figure out how to do cash for keys, everything. Rudy, come on back to the mentorship. I'll send you the link so you can come on Wednesday. You can come on Wednesday. I'll send you the link if you want to come. I'm going shopping because Boston have a long way. Tiffany is in the unicorn. Tiffany is in a utopia in Boston, right? You in a utopia where everybody just eating pink starbursts and jumping through sunflower fields. 2 years, Rudy. Some people are going to get fired after Christmas. You know they always start laying off after Christmas. I don't know. Some people just live in this fog where it's like, it won't happen to me. It won't happen to me. Nobody should ever say that, right? What do old people say? Just keep on living, right? Just keep on living. That would never happen to me, and it will. Whatever it is. Sometimes it's like, don't get to that point where you're like, dang, I see people crying on TikTok. I never thought my job would lay me off. How could you ever think that? You know, they would never. They just gave. One lady on TikTok said, I just got a bonus. It's not funny, but when you think about like how corporations and companies work, she said she just got a bonus and got laid off. They was like, well, they probably like, that's your severance and your bonus and everything. Thank you. She said, I just got a bonus. She was like, my boss was like my best friend. They'll start never and like they ain't never before. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying is take the veil off, save your money. Let's see what else is going on in the country. Hold on. I'm going to turn the screen around. So y'all know I'm on daily job cuts. Daily job cuts. You know I like to be here. Hey, Mike. I've been laid off at least 10 times over. 10 times. Come on, Tracy. Just come on out here on the real estate side and invest and just get some residuals. You know what I mean? So what is going to happen when people go into Baltimore faces foreclosure fallout as alleged $100 million real estate fraud loop implodes? Who in Baltimore? What's going on in Baltimore, y'all? A real estate... Baltimore faces foreclosure fallout as alleged $100 million real estate fraud ring implodes. A detail about labor astonishing deal scheme in which a group of New York-based investors allegedly purchased hundreds of Baltimore homes at wildly inflated prices using hard money loans before defaulting on many of those loans. Have y'all heard about this? So in the mentorship, you guys, it's so funny. Look, I love our mentorship. Our community is so amazing. And I know y'all are like, Ashley, let me turn the camera around because I don't want to confuse y'all and have you thinking it's a wholesale mentorship. It is not, okay? I don't teach wholesaling. I might mention it. We have people in there who wholesale, for sure. It is a pre-foreclosure mentorship. Rudy's in here. Trentsy's in here. Avriel's in here. Rudy, I'm going to invite you back. Last week we roll called. We've been role playing the last 2 weeks, right? How to talk to homeowners, how to talk to banks. There's Trentsy. It's a pre-foreclosure mentorship. It's 6 weeks. I say that lightly because once you come in, you're in it forever. Most people don't realize that, but when you see, it's because you stay forever once you get in. And I teach you how to, let me tell you, the goal is to make you a foreclosure expert, is really what the goal is, and help you build your portfolio, right? That is my goal, to teach you, like when we reach out, how to find homeowners. I know y'all all lifetime students. Rudy, I'm so happy to see you. That makes me like, okay. Look, it's just because Rudy was like in my first mentorship, and now it's grown to, I don't know how many people are in there at this point. But I teach you how to find pre-foreclosures where you live. So everybody's like, will it work where I live? Wherever you live, you can find pre-foreclosures, reach out to the homeowners, usually before everybody else reaches out to them, before the investors and everything. I teach you how to find them first. How to reach out to them, all the marketing methods that I use and that I suggest you use, how to talk to homeowners, how to talk to the banks, right? Because a lot of times you have to get on the phone with the banks, right? And see what's going on with the homeowners. But I try to educate you on the foreclosure process. What are their options? Forbearance, modifications, all short sales, selling the property. But I have to make you knowledgeable on that. Like if you come through my class, you're not going to embarrass me like I'm your mama, right? Don't embarrass me when you get out there. And I teach you all of that, right? And then if they do want to sell, how to make offers to them, right? Those kind of things. And so lately it's 6 weeks. It's like a year. It's a year. You come in, you stay, you get all the letters, you get my blueprint course, you get me every week, and you get our strong, you see everybody in the comments, our community. Avriel's in Austin, a beast on the REO side, a beast on the foreclosure side. Look, Avriel, how many listings you got? Like, our community is so strong. We got people who do BPOs, like 300 BPOs. Avriel got like 30 REO listings on that bank side. You know, our community, we share. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's so good. You guys, the link is in the bottom of the description. I set it up for now you can do the 2-payment plan. The next mentorship starts October 22nd. It is the last one for the entire year. Coffee bowl, and I hate to tell you, it's the one price. People, I just let y'all come back after you pay the one time. Nobody knew that. But now at this point, I think it's out of the bag that I just let you stay, right? Like, if you know me, I try to lead with love. Once you get in, you're just in, right? It's in the description, y'all. It's in the description. You know, I'm on the phone, so I can't. We're going to get back, you guys. We'll get back to what we're talking about. But the next one starts October 22nd. But you can come in now, and you can start coming to classes with us, and you can join. This week coming up is week 5 for us. So you can come in, join week 5. As soon as you sign up, you jump into the classes with us. But then it'll start over October 22nd, right? I just try to lead with love, like I tell y'all. But it's the best thing about the mentorship is the community. I will say that. And me, because I love you all. So anyway. The link is down below. Let's keep talking. I know you're like, Ashley, I did not come on here to hear about that. But if you're interested in reaching out to homeowners, and we about to have a whole bunch of homeowners in distress, let's recognize that. You know what I mean? So yeah, we've been role playing and I just want y'all to leave me. You're going to leave with like a master's degree in foreclosures when you get through with me. So I set up the 2-payment plan now. There's one, you can pay in full, and then there's 2, you can do a 2-payment option. Yeah, for sure, family. For sure, family. For sure on that. That's why everybody comes and they just stay forever. I guess y'all like me. Okay, let's get back to what we're talking about, you guys. But feel free, join. It's the last one of 2025 because we'll be into the holidays, and my birthday's in December. I'm a Sag. So this will be the last one of 2025, and then we'll probably start in 2026, unless I'm just so busy with REOs and foreclosures and building my portfolio that I just can't, you know what I mean? And I love y'all too. That's why I come on here for free and have master classes for free, because I understand everybody can't get in the mentorship. So at least I try to teach you when I get you on here. So tonight we were supposed to talk about pre-foreclosures, right? Tonight is supposed to be about pre-foreclosures. Back to the article about the Baltimore people. Maryland, what y'all got going on in Maryland? Okay, let's finish this real quick, you guys. So the investor group, damn, they petty. Look at them. The investor group based in an Orthodox Jewish community in Spring Valley. They petty. Do we have to put that? Purchased more than 700 homes in Baltimore for use as long-term rentals, primarily in majority black neighborhoods, according to the report. The purchases were reportedly financed with some $100 million in debt service. Oh, they got them DSCR loans from dozens of private lenders. Now, more than half of the properties owned by the New York group are in foreclosure, raising concerns about property values in the affected neighborhoods. Ooh, credit availability for legitimate investors in Baltimore and the fate of renters affected by the foreclosures. Because y'all know when people start dumping or when foreclosures start happening, that does lower property values in your neighborhood. Come on, Chad, you can come on in here. Regina, thanks you guys. I'm glad y'all love me because I love you too. Look, I love you too. I do try to lead with love. You know what I mean? I too practice what I tell y'all to do. I try my best at least. Oh, let's look at Warren Tracker and then we can talk pre-foreclosures real quick and then I'll let y'all go to bed because it's already been an hour. So y'all, I'm on, look, Warren Tracker. Warren Tracker. It talks about all the layoffs. Let's see if I click this. Okay, good. Y'all see Starbucks laying off. I said, not Starbucks laying off. I'm not surprised because it's been empty lately. Not that I go in there. Who even drinks Starbucks? Who even drinks coffee? Who even drinks white chocolate mochas with vanilla sweet cream cold foam with caramel drizzle and line the cup? Who even does that? Who does that? So, come on, Rosalind. Come on. You know what I mean? Scared money don't make money. That really, Rosemary, that really wasn't the metaphor I was trying to say. Scared money don't make money. That's so Memphis. But Rosalind, heartstrings pulling me. I own my home, no debt. Well, you know, Rosalind, y'all give Rosalind some encouraging words. I will say that in real estate, I love real estate. That is, you know, everybody knows that's one of the pillars of building wealth. You know what I mean? And financial stability, right? And when you see opportunity and recognize and just learn, Rosalind, you know what I mean? Just come on here and learn. And then if something piques your thoughts, you might be like, okay, I might look into this. And you might see a little house that maybe will be good rental property or a good, y'all know I want to buy like a couple properties like housing, college housing, because y'all know it's a shortage in college housing. But at the same time, I'm like, kids still going to college, right? I feel like they still, but college housing is such a shortage. And if you can partner with the college, you know what I mean? Maybe they can send the money direct to you. Somebody asked about Section 8 last week. Is Section 8 getting cut off because of the government shutdowns? No, you guys. Look, my mind is all over the place. Y'all, this is why I can't sleep at night. Because I have like 1,000 tabs open in my brain. Y'all know. Okay, so I just said my mind. I don't know. Do people like Section 8, they still pay? When I start hearing that veterans are getting affected, it might not get their money. Is Section 8 still paying people's rent? You know what I mean? And then that made me think of Avriel. And I saw another real estate agent talking about, you know, these deals aren't closing because it's government funds, right? So if it's USDA, since the government shutdown, they can't fund these loans to close these properties. So if somebody's in the process of buying a home, right, and was about to close and probably has given their notice because they're buying a house, Section 8 is still paying exist. Got you. It's a lot of buyers who are in the process of buying a property right now But with the government shutdown, it's stopping their closing from happening, right? So I'm seeing that. Avriel said she's got some deals that aren't closing because of the government shutdown. I saw another agent talking about that their deals weren't happening. You just don't recognize how much one thing affects the other thing. You know what I mean? So I hope they got some place to go. You know what I mean? Imagine if you've given your 2-week notice, or you tried to move out and your landlord is like, you can't come back. Craziness. Or if a seller was depending on you to close to buy their house, to buy another house, and your deal got delayed, and we don't know how long this government shutdown is going to last. Is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? But let me say this. If I was a client, we're going to get back to this. Y'all know I get off. I'd be like, look, I need y'all to lock me in at a new rate. If this lasts 30 to 60 days and they lower the interest rate, I'm going to be like, lock me at the new one. I don't want to keep this 6 something, like if the interest rates were to go down. You know what I mean? By the time the shutdown is over, I'm going to be like, run them numbers again and lock me in at that lower rate if I was buying a house. You know what I mean? That's what I would try to negotiate. I mean, like, look, you don't waited this long. Rerun that paperwork and give me a lower rate. We ain't going to talk about D.R. Horton. You know what I mean? Because we know at this point, you just don't get a house from D.R. Horton. Okay. Let's go back to what we were talking about, class. Okay, so Warren Tracker lets you know about all the companies that are planning to lay off 250 to 500. They have to report when they plan on laying off. Kershaw Farm Labor Management, 501 to 1,000. Okay, so let's see what our numbers are looking like. We looked at these last week. Everybody can see. So California has laid off 60,000 people in 2025. Texas has laid off 14,491. Hold on, you guys. Y'all know how these comments are. Florida, 12,263. Can y'all see that? I'm on Warren Tracker in case y'all want to read for your own leisurely time. New York, y'all, we're going to see a lot coming out of these. I guess everywhere when you think about federal workers, that's the IRS. That's everywhere. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who are going to be stressed out right now. It's a lot of people stressed out right now. So just be mindful of that. If you're an investor who reaches out to homeowners, there's Washington, 7,550. Be mindful. Lead with love. Don't intimidate people. They already in a negative headspace. You know what I mean? So don't call them harassing the hell out of them. You know what I mean? Golly. Because you know when things like this happen, people start preying on the... You know, they start preying on people. Scammers gonna scam and people. But here's a Warren Tracker. In case y'all aren't familiar with this site, you can get familiar with it. Warren Tracker. So if you are an investor and you do see an opportunity, try to have some morals. That's all I can say. Don't be bullying the people, okay? Don't bully the people, okay? They going through enough already trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills and make it through tomorrow. You know what I mean? They don't need you knocking on the door and being mean to them. Okay, so that's Warren Tracker. Now, if we're going to... Do y'all want to hear about pre-foreclosure or y'all ready to go to sleep? Look, let me ask. Do y'all want me to talk about pre-foreclosures or y'all ready to go to bed? It is 8:15. I came on here at 7. I'll give you a good 15-minute rundown on pre-foreclosures if that's what y'all want to talk about. Or we can pick this up tomorrow. Yes. Why would I expect y'all to say anything else but yes? But let's go. Okay. So yes, we'll talk about it. As long as, let's make a little agreement here. If you're in the real estate industry, I will keep talking for at least another 15 minutes. If you're in the real estate industry, because I can see who y'all, if you got an agent at the end of your screen name, at least tell a friend or tell somebody if they're losing their job, Is my voice soothing? Look, if you get sleepy, just put the phone down next to your head and listen with your ears and not with your eyes. I'll put on the lower voice. But let me not do it before we get all the trolls in here. Y'all know how I get. But I'll keep going. But real estate agents, I challenge you all. I'm going to make a post. If you have any kind of following, remind people that are going through layoffs. Thousands of people across the country are getting laid off. Communicate with your lender. What did I say? Keep that same energy you had when you was opening up doors and cashing commission checks. Keep that same energy when it comes to these layoffs, and reminding your clients, if you're going through a hard time, my prayers and thoughts are with you, or whatever you want to say. And please remember to reach out to your lender and let them know what's going on. There is assistance available to you, right? They can get a forbearance. They can, they just tell them to pick up the phone and talk to their lender, okay? Yes, you guys. Thank you, you guys. So, yes. And once people see that, other people will see it and share, and you know what I mean. Our industry sometimes gets a bad rap for how we are. So, in the good times, we show up for our clients, and in the not so good times, we need to show up for our clients, right? So, I encourage you all to do that. Let's talk pre-foreclosures. Thank you, you guys. Thank you, you guys. Let me read. Yes, I've been helping people not start 15. Good. That's right, Regina. Not just in the good times, right? Not just in the good times. And we got a lot of people who just bought houses in the last couple years who probably getting laid off too. You know what I mean? So let them know there are options. Forbearance. Some lenders offer like a 6-month forbearance. Also, and we'll keep talking, you guys, but I want to say this. Y'all know I try to teach y'all. Another thing about being in real estate, we can talk real estate, right? If I tell y'all they got to bring me some EMD, earnest money, if we know what that means, right? I was on the phone with the lady in foreclosure, and I always say this. I stayed on the phone with her 30 minutes, and I was like, I need you to tell the bank you want a modification. You need a modification. She's like, okay. Text me back in about 10 minutes and was like, what was the word that you said? And I'm like, modification. I'm going to send it to you in a text, right? My point of saying this is, a lot of times these homeowners don't know. It might be their first time buying a home. So when they get on the phone with the bank, hopefully the lender will be like, yes, this is the assistance we have for you. But you might even suggest, hey, they might have a forbearance for you. You might can put your loan in forbearance if they don't even know what to ask for, right? Or just ask and see what options. Each lender is different. Some have more options than the other. So y'all get what my point is, right? Some of them get on the phone and still, like Lil Daryl, we still don't know. Like, I lost my job. And depending on who pick up the phone, you know what I mean? So you might encourage people to be like, forbearance might be an option, right? In case they have no idea how to even communicate on the phone. You know what I mean? Especially these young kids. I'm just kidding. They don't even know how to make doctor's appointments for themselves. But I'm just kidding. But y'all know what I'm saying. A lot of times we forget that we've been in the industry for 5, 10, 15 years. And we know the real estate lingo. And homeowners sometimes don't know that. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Boom. Boom. Okay. Pre-foreclosures. Everybody with me? Good. And lead with love. We all lead with love. Hey, Danita. Welcome. So, I told y'all with the comment section, I love my nails, actually. So, let's talk pre-foreclosures. What is a pre-foreclosure? How do you find them? I've done plenty of masterclasses, mentorships on them. Homeowners who are behind on their mortgage, right? And a lot of times people would rather, I've had people come to me because they went to the auction and the auction got bid up too quickly, right? Got bid up. Actually, I don't have the cash, right? I don't even have the cash to go to the auction. And I'm like, well, maybe you can reach out to the source, right? The homeowner. The homeowner is the decision maker all the way up until I say going once, going twice, sold. Can you reach out to a homeowner? This is a question for you all. Can you reach out to a homeowner that has an auction scheduled. If somebody is going up for auction next Friday, can you reach out to them and offer your assistance? Ooh, Lasagna, come on in here. Everybody in here from the mentorship. Look at everybody in here. I see your, yes, yes, yes. Yes, you can. You can reach out to a homeowner all the way up until that auction. The homeowner is still the decision maker. Until I say going once, going twice, sold, that homeowner is the decision maker. You cannot call me, the auctioneer. You cannot call the trustee and say, hey, I see you got a house going up for auction. Can I bid on it? Can I buy it from you? They're going to say, no, you need to call the homeowner. The homeowner is the decision maker. So a lot of times people would rather talk to the homeowner than go to the auction, because why, y'all? At the auction, you can't see the inside of that property, right? People still live in that property at the auction, right? So if you can talk to that homeowner, walk through the property, look, I was reading Brian's comment, walk through the properties, maybe get an offer going, get, y'all, something a lot of y'all didn't know, a contract, an executed contract will usually stop an auction. Did y'all know that? Did you know that? Usually, okay? Now, if that homeowner done cursed everybody out at the office, have not sent a payment, is a client from hell, they might not take your contract. But a contract will usually postpone, at least postpone, an auction, okay? So you and that homeowner need to talk to the homeowner, agree on a deal. You can agree on when they're going to be out of the house, right? So like at the auction, you're bidding blind. If you talk to the homeowner, you can get in there. You can negotiate when they want to leave and all that kind of stuff. Yes, 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 yes. So when y'all see auction properties going up like Texas and Georgia, who only auction the first Tuesday of the month, you can reach out to these homeowners, lead with love. But yes, they can still sell to you, right? Now, a problem that we are running into is a lot of people in foreclosure just bought post-COVID. So they just bought 2020, and now Avriel was on here. She's probably still on here. Had 35 properties go up for auction on Tuesday. None of them sold. Why? Because they were all purchased in 22, 23, and 24. What does that mean, right? Think about when you buy a house, right? It takes a while for you to even put a dent in your payoff. There's Avriel. Yeah. It takes a while. So at the auction, you guys, I've said this before, the opening bid is the loan balance. Yep. The opening bid is the loan balance. I know y'all been with me for a while. So if they just bought in the last 3 years, they owe that whole loan. Half of them are probably upside down, right? Or, right, because how the market has changed. And they bought when we were in paying $40,000 and $50,000 over, right? They got it bid up, right? So now you paid $400,000. Now that the market has cooled off, the house is only worth $375,000. The opening bid is the loan balance. So a house, you don't go to the auction to pay full price, right? You go to get a discount. So nobody is going to buy a house that is overpriced. So now all the houses going up for auction are going back to the bank. They are too high. Okay, does that make sense? Right? So that is a problem that I think a lot of sellers, I think we're going to see that too. Even with distress selling, people getting laid off, people who want to sell, right? They don't even have room to sell, right? They can't even, they're upside down. They're going to have to short sale. You know what I mean? Because they, at this point, they overpaid for the house. The market's cooled off. I just lost my job. I'm in trouble. I need to sell. After I pay commissions and closing costs, I'm upside down, right? I still owe this whole loan that I just bought 2 years ago. Commissions, closing costs. I can't even sell. You know what I mean? I can't. So a lot of people are going to be in that situation too. And then look, I'm always like, so what does that mean for banks, right? Y'all taking these houses back. They're not selling at auction. Y'all taking these houses back. I don't know. I don't know. I guess you sell them to hedge funds, right? Or you put them on the market at a lower price, and maybe that'll help reduce a correction here. But nothing's selling at auction. Nothing's selling here in Tennessee at auction unless it's like a rule. But in Texas, nothing is selling. Georgia, nothing is selling. Let me show you. Oh, we're supposed to talk pre-foreclosures. Don't worry, I'm gonna get there. Don't worry. Don't worry. Hold on, I'm gonna show you so y'all understand that. Here's the site I'm on before y'all ask me, what site are you on? I was on it last week. It is a trustee site. It's a trustee site. I'm going to click on trustee sales. Let's see what happened at auction this week. It was a big, I'm supposed to do this tomorrow, but it's okay. We're here. Don't worry. Y'all going to learn regardless. This is, okay, for everybody who does not know, Texas and Georgia auction the first Tuesday of the month. That is the only time they auction, okay? So here is, this week coming up. Here is last week's auctions, okay? Look, and you can see this is Georgia, all the counties in Georgia. These are all the properties that went up for auction last week, and y'all can see the list is long. Y'all look, there it is. There's Georgia. That is exactly what I'm showing you, last week's auction list in Georgia. But let's look at what actually sold at auction. Y'all, it's a lot of stressed out people. You can say that for sure. So if you're new here and you've never seen the site that I share, this is the property address. Boom. This is the county. Time of the auction here. This row shows the opening bid, if it's been postponed, if it's been canceled. Everybody with me, right? When this number and this number, these are the results. If this number and this number is the same, it means it did not sell at auction. Right? It reverted back to the bank and became an REO property. So when this number and this number is the same, it did not sell. So let's see what sold last week. So clearly, that didn't sell. That didn't sell. That didn't sell. Let's keep going. Now we're into Tuesday. Okay, so this is Georgia. Let's see if anything... I'm trying to pull it back far enough so y'all can see, but still 180, 192. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, this one did. This one opening bid was 38,000, sold for 121. Let's see. I know y'all like, Ashley, y'all know I want to look and see what it is. See what sold. Okay, here it is. Remember and allow. Okay. It looks like a townhouse or condominium or something. It's a condo. 1 bedroom, 1 bath. Opening bid was 38,000. Sold for 121,000. Boom. There it is. A condo. Let's see what else we got, ladies and gentlemen. So 38. Okay, we got some that were canceled. When you see canceled, that means they could have sold it to somebody. They might have filed bankruptcy. Bankruptcy will stop an auction immediately. You can file bankruptcy the morning of, and that will stop your auction. Okay, everybody with me? So we got didn't sell, didn't sell, did not sell, didn't sell. Didn't sell, did not sell. Nope, 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 nope. Y'all get the point, right? Y'all seeing all these properties that are not selling at auction. That is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? That's the problem we're running into. And that's the problem banks are running into. They're not selling at auction. That's Georgia. Texas is having the same problem. So what are banks going to do, you guys? Are they going to put it back on the market and let us buy them? Or are they just going to sell them to hedge funds? Bundle them up and sell them to hedge funds? What do you think? That one sold. That one sold. Nope. 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 I've found what, 2 out of all these that have sold, right? So what that just kind of shows you what's going on with our real estate market right now. People can't afford their mortgage, right? Or they're going into foreclosure. The foreclosures are coming through the process. They go up for auction because most lenders anticipate that the property will sell at auction to an investor. That's not happening anymore. They're not buying at the auction anymore. So now these properties are going back to the bank. We would all love if they would come on the market, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we love if they bring some of these REOs to the market? And let's see what Georgia got. I'm on HUD Home Store. HUDHomestore.gov. This is an REO site, an REO bank-owned site. I was just in Atlanta. Y'all know I'm trying to hold the phone and type and talk. I do love y'all, don't I? Because, guys, Atlanta, Tennessee, clearly. In a GA, yeah. So HUD don't have anything in Atlanta. Y'all got anything in Georgia? Georgia. There we go. We got a couple. I'm on an REO site. I said I wasn't going to talk about REOs or auctions until this week. And I done taught the whole phase, all 3 phases already. Y'all just come back tomorrow and act like it's new to you. Okay? That's what you do. So here are some. These are all bank-owned REO sites, REO properties. This is HUD's site, HUDHomestore.gov. Bank-owned properties that you can use financing to buy. But it's only a handful of them. Yeah, they probably will sell to hedge funds, huh? Let's see when the last bidding war was on hedge funds. Let's see the last bundle that Fannie Mae sold. Let's see. The last bundle. That's August 15th. We know they've had one since August 15th. You know, they bundle up these properties and sell them to hedge funds. Fannie Mae announces winner of 27th Community Impact Pool of non-performing loans. For everybody that's new here, new to real estate, a lot of times banks, your favorite banks, JP Morgan, let me not call any names before my Wi-Fi start acting up, will bundle up non-performing loans. If you don't know what that means the homeowner is not paying their non-performing loans. They will bundle them up in a pool, get all their little non-performing loans together, and sell them for half the price, for pennies on a dollar, to hedge funds. This last one had 26 loans, and this is not even the last one. This is from August. I know they've had one since then. Includes 26 loans, unpaid principal balance of $6.3 million. Average loan size was $245,000. Wouldn't we all love a property for $245,000? Weighted average note rate, their rate was 4.13%. They paid, let's see, does it say the cover bid, which was the second highest bid, 40% of the broker price opinion. That is how much they sold them for. 40% of the BPO. If you don't know what a BPO is, that is a broker price opinion. When they get a real estate agent to come out, look at the house, tell them how much it's worth, right? Give them the condition of it. Tell them how much it's worth, how much it would be worth if they fixed it up, the condition of it. They sold them for 40% of the BPO, of the broker price opinion. If the broker said that it was worth $100,000, this house is worth $100,000. They paid 40% of $100,000. Understand that. I'm sorry, I didn't know if y'all could see my camera or not. Y'all understand. That's how it works. Now, all purchasers, hold on, I got the camera too. There. All purchasers are required to honor any approved or in-process loss mitigation efforts at the time of the sale, and including loan modifications. Who is monitoring that? Who is to say the hedge fund just does not go in there, send those people a letter, and tell them to get out of their house? Who is monitoring when the hedge funds buy these loans? Because it's people still in these houses. You understand that, right? Everybody understands. They just bundle them up and sell them. Let's see when the last one was. Here we go. I knew it was a recent one. I knew they did it every month. They're not selling at the courthouse. So what are we doing? We just bundling up loans. This came out September 10th, a month ago. Fannie Mae announces the results of its 35th reperforming loan sale. What's a reperforming loan, you might ask? I guess they stopped paying and then they started paying again. And now they're reperforming. Of its 35th reperforming loan sale, PIMCO brought it. Shocker. The transaction announced on August 12th included the sale of 3,000 loans. They bundled up 3,000. I know y'all like, Ashley, we heard you the first time. They bundled up 3,000 loans and sold them. They had $559 million in unpaid principal balance offered in one pool. I wonder what they're going to do. I wonder what hedge funds are going to do with 3,000 properties. I wonder. This transaction is expected to close by October 3rd. The pool awarded in the most recent transaction included 3,044 loans with an aggregate unpaid principal balance of $559 million. Average loan size was $183,000. Wouldn't we love to buy a property for $183,000? If you would just put these back on the market at a lower price, a lot of people could afford homes. Weighted average note rate was 3.7. Weighted average broker's price opinion loan to value ratio of 45%. The cover bid, which is the second highest, they got it for 31% of the broker price opinion. So if the house was worth $100,000, they got it for 31% of $100,000. Reperforming loans are loans that have been or are currently delinquent but have reperformed for a period of time. They usually will tell you where the loans are. Sometimes they'll be like, but I guess with 3,000, it was just all over the country. Sometimes they'll say they were in Florida, they were in New Jersey. So if you're a homeowner and your mortgage lender changes and they say we sold your loan, they probably sold it to a hedge fund. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. If y'all didn't know this is what was going on. I'm sure you did not know. I'm sure you heard that they might be selling your loans. They absolutely sell your loans to hedge funds. And let's think a little further, ladies and gentlemen. What do hedge funds do with properties? I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer to this, but if you just scooped up 3,044 loans, these are houses with people in them, 9 times out of 10. What do you think a hedge fund is going to do with these properties? You think they'll ever, do you think they'll ever come back out to the market again for us? Or are they going to rent them out? I don't know. Are they going to dump them? They got them at such a good price. I don't know, right? Or will we just not ever see these houses again, right? They just going to turn into rentals, and it is what it is, you know? Those are things you think about when you start seeing them. That is the most I have seen. I have never seen 3,044 loans. It's probably all these properties not selling at auction. They're not selling at auction. And I guess the banks are like, we got to get paid some kind of way, right? The homeowners aren't paying. That means they're not paying their loans. That means the banks are struggling because homeowners aren't paying their mortgage. So what do? They're like, well, shoot, we about to sink too. You know, the bank's like, we going to collapse. Sell them to somebody, you know. And then, you know, like the banks and the hedge funds and Wall Street, look, you know, they really finna cut my Wi-Fi off. Y'all know they really gonna cut my Wi-Fi off. You know, they're all like intertwined, right? They're all intertwined. Hedge funds, Wall Street, banks, baby, they got stock and everybody. You know what I mean? They make money. Y'all know what I'm saying. For older homes in pre-foreclosure with low interest rates and some equity, is it common to do loan assumptions rather than doing a new loan? You can. You'll like assuming a loan is a good thing if you can get a good rate on it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Danita, easier and faster to bundle and sell them. Yes, I feel like assuming is not a bad thing. It's if you find a homeowner that's got equity, that's got a low interest rate. If y'all don't know what assuming is, it's when you got to go through the bank. On the investment side, they call it subject to. But on the other side, on the I ain't gonna say legit side. On the bank side, assuming the loan means you are taking over this homeowner's payments and the interest rate that they have. But you have to get approved through their bank, right? And then take over their payments and their loan. And that's a good thing. Honestly, if you can get their interest rate and you like the house and it's a great house, absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. Look, for sure. But if they sold it at auction at the price they sell it to the hedge funds, then people would, of course, Deneen, in a perfect world where we jump through pink starburst sunflowers. That's why I said I would love to get a house for how many people would love to get a house for $145,000 or $245,000? If we could get the deals that they're getting, we would all be happy. It would be a much better place, wouldn't it? But I guess that's in Never Never Land, right? So those are options or things to think about when it comes to, I've shown you what's going on at the auction. They're not selling. I show you what happens when they're not selling. A lot of them are going to hedge funds. I still encourage you to be ready, right? The hedge funds aren't going to buy all of them. Hopefully, you know, hopefully, if you're an A, because y'all know I just got REO certified. So, we'll see what happens. Did I really talk about pre-foreclosures? Not really. Let me just show you one site, and then y'all are going to go to bed, okay? Let me show you. Look, this camera's still on my face. Okay. Pre-foreclosures, right? I keep telling you. I already asked the class a question. If you can reach out to properties, I'm on auction.com. I just clicked on foreclosures. Let's put in Atlanta, Georgia, since I know their auction's already passed. So this person, Georgia auction is the first Tuesday of the month. So their next auction will not be until November 4th. So class, I'm on auction.com. All these people have auctions scheduled for November 4th. Can you reach out to them and offer your assistance? Yes or no? Yes or no? Y'all answered it, but I'm just going to make sure y'all can understand what I'm saying. Thank you. Thank you. So you could reach out to 4033 Princeton Lakes Pass. Their auction is scheduled for November 4th. And see if they need some help. I think a lot of times auctions scare you away from reaching out to homeowners. You see an auction date and you're like, I can't talk to them because they got an auction. They are still the decision maker. They are still the one that determines if they can sell or not, right? All the way up until their auction, okay? So I'm going to give you one site that I love. I actually auctioned for him. And I'm going to let y'all go to sleep. Hold on. Is that an L? LSE Law. Ruben Lublin, he is a foreclosure attorney, foreclosure trustee. And sometimes if you get lucky, they will post their auctions, right? I clicked on foreclosure property listing. Boom. And then here we go. We got Georgia property listings. And we're on here. So Georgia just had their auction. So the next one is not scheduled into November 4th. Is not scheduled. So all of these people have auctions scheduled for November 4th. Do we all see that, class? Do we all see that? Could I send a letter to all these people because they have an auction scheduled for November 4th and say, hey, do you know your options? Do you know what's going on? Yes. Yes, you can. Thank you, Kay. Here, look at this. Golly, we still in November. These are all people scheduled for auction next month. Next month. Next month. I don't want to make y'all dizzy this because y'all see it's still November. This is Georgia. Auctions next month. Now, let's keep going. I guess we'll stop eventually. I'm only in the M's. McDonough, Moultrie, Newman. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Powder Springs. That's a good area, isn't it? Isn't Powder Springs a good area? That's what I heard. I don't know. Sandy Springs. Sandy Springs is a good area too, isn't it, you guys? I don't know. Savannah. Let's keep going. Now I'm in Stone Mountain. These are still auctions, you guys. I'm still going. Still going. And then what happens here? What do we see here? December auctions. They already have December auctions listed. Can I reach out to people who have an auction scheduled in 2 months? In 2 months. These people probably don't even have their notice yet. I mean, they know they haven't paid their mortgage, but they probably don't have their, like, notice of sale. Probably. They probably don't have it yet. Unless they were, like, postponed. Yes. Yes, you can. And then you start all over again in December. We're in December. You think we'll see? You think they got January posted already? Now, a little thing that a lot of y'all might not know is banks usually stop foreclosures from, what, beginning of December to middle of January. It's like a foreclosure moratorium where they don't foreclose on you during the holidays. They call it a little holiday moratorium. Oh, we do have some January 6, 2026 auctions already. So you know these people ain't paid their mortgage in a long time if they already got them scheduled for next year. I feel like this list is going to grow. Now, the whole point of me showing you this, everybody, since I was supposed to talk about pre-foreclosures tonight, you can reach out to these people. How? White Pages, True People Search, PropWire. You can put addresses in PropWire, and then you send them a letter in a bottle. You can... Don't harass them. Don't intimidate them. Don't be mean to them. Don't bully them. That have real estate signing up for foreclosure properties. I heard there was a convention in Texas that have real estate agents signing up for foreclosure properties. What kind of convention is that, Tiffany? To be REO agents or to actually buy foreclosure properties? I wonder if California is the same. What you mean? If they have pre-foreclosures like this, everybody has them. Every single county, every single state, city. You just got to know how to find them. You just got to know how to find them. Clearly, I'm getting sleepy. Once I start singing, that means it's downhill from there. Because I know God did not bless me with the singing spirit. Okay, so when I start singing, that means we're about to start wrapping it up. Okay, so... it's everywhere. You just need to know. That's why I show y'all PropWire. Get on PropWire. Put your zip code in. PropWire is free. Free 99. I'm going to show you one more site. It was not working the other day. I don't know what's... Oh, it's working now. Logs. LOGS.com. LOGS.com. Logs. Rhymes with frogs and dogs. If you scroll over and you click on sale. When I got certified, oh yeah, I just went through a certification class. And so they taught me all about REOs and they gave me a certificate. So now I can start working with banks to list properties for them and do BPOs. I'm sorry. Coffee. I'm sorry. I didn't know what you meant. So I clicked on sales. Everybody with me? Sales. I'm on logs.com. I click on agree. Eddie, it depends on what your budget, it depends on you and your situation. I feel like right now, buyers are going to start getting a little shaky with these jobs, and I don't blame them, right? If jobs looking a little shaky, I would probably pump the brakes on buying. And that's another thing. I know you're like, actually don't start, but Eddie had a good question. What does that mean for our market? With jobs starting to lay off, is that going to make these buyers pull back even more? It's not like buyers running out here, though, either. Interest rates still too high. Houses are just unaffordable. So with layoffs, is that just another layer that's going to keep buyers from coming to the market? I went through Bubba Mills certification. He's great. I think he's got a class coming up in October. Bubba, like Forrest Gump. But that's another layer we have to think about. No, I think your question came in after them. So what does that mean for our real estate market? Right now, buyers probably about to, I mean, if the job market looking shaky, I'm going to pull back a little bit too. I might be like, let's pump the brakes. Let's see what's going to happen. We want to make sure we don't buy a house and the jobs start. You know what I mean? So I think that's just another extra layer to what's going to happen with our market, right? And everybody's like, interest rates going to go down again. Interest rate, it does not matter if the interest rates go down, if the houses are still too high. Just in case y'all didn't know that. Okay. Right? You know what I mean? You're not going to you're going to, if milk cost $20 a gallon, but they giving it to you at a 2% interest rate, you still going to pay $20 for a gallon of milk? No. Right? Same when it comes to houses. You know what I mean? If the house is already overpriced and unaffordable, it doesn't matter what the interest rate is. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Now back to what I was saying, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so Logs, another foreclosure trustee site that handles foreclosures. Click on sales. And if you live in any of these, I'm trying to make sure. Boom. If you live in any of these states, they handle foreclosures for you. That would probably be a good site for y'all to look on because they handle a bunch of states. logs.com. logs.com. Santos. Yes. Click on sales. You can click on it. Click on upcoming sales report, no matter where you live. They even got Rhode Island. I bet it's like 2 there. But check out that site and they will. Here, I'll click on Mississippi. Click on Mississippi. Scroll down. Boom. It's little. I know y'all can't see that. Hold on. Let me try to make this a little bigger because I know if I can barely see it, I know y'all can't see it. And y'all on the computer or on the phone. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to make it bigger. There we go. And so it has, this is Mississippi. So I can click on DeSoto. And then it'll bring up properties that are up for auction. Looks like next week, all the way up. And you can schedule it out further, like to maybe next to December or something. But Logs is a good site. Okay, so I gave you a Logs and Reuben Lublin. You can White Pages, True People Search, PropWire. Get their people's information. Lead with love. Don't harass them. Don't bully them. Don't do that. Lead with love and you can offer your assistance. Okay, and that's how you can reach out to people in pre-foreclosure. Okay, and that's what I do. That's what I teach in the mentorship, just in much, much greater detail. What to send, what to say, how do you reach out, all that kind of stuff, how to find them. Boom. That's the mentorship. Okay, exactly. This is just another indicator of the state of our market. Good on you as a realtor, acknowledge it. Yes, y'all know I'm the probably the black sheep of the real estate industry, right? Y'all know that when y'all was yelling date the rate and marry the house, I was like, y'all sending those people straight to the courthouse. See me at the courthouse. And here we are. Because what do I know? What do I know, right? But anyway, you guys, that's it. That's all I got. It's 9 o'clock. I've been talking for 2 hours. Hopefully y'all have learned something and taken notes. I will be back here tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, 7 p.m. Central. For all of you, because I see y'all already. I just got the notification that a couple of y'all jumped in the mentorship. Come to class on Wednesday and you're going to have homework. You're going to have homework. But the link is down below for the mentorship if you're interested in that. We meet on Wednesdays, 7:30. But I'll be back tomorrow. I'm on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley on Instagram. Follow on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe I'll put my hair in a ponytail tomorrow. Maybe I won't. But it doesn't matter. And come and learn. You're welcome, you guys. You're welcome. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend. Be kind to people because you just never know what they're going through. You know what I mean? Danita, I send you the link to the mentorship every week, Danita. You just don't ever come. That's okay. Good night, you guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye, Lasagna. Bye, Rosemary. Bye, Danita. Bye, Sheila. Bye, Kay. Bye, y'all.